Hey there, folks. Thanks for joining me on this video. I'm Piano Man Steve. I'm founder of the pianomanapproach.com and learningmusicisfun.com and creator of the Piano Man Approach online piano course. And before we get started really quick, if you enjoy this kind of free content, I'd really appreciate it if you'd give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and share this with anyone you think might like it. And you can visit pianomanapproach.com for some other free goodies and lots of other cool stuff. But please join me every Friday for a new Free Lesson Friday teaching video here, where I'm either going to demonstrate how to play a well-known song using my piano method or offer some other kind of practical and usable technique or information that can help you advance your musical goals and have a lot more fun while you do it. So today, we're going to be doing a song demonstration for The Joker by Steve Miller. I love doing songs like this because it's predominantly thought of as kind of a guitar song, and there's no reason why piano players can't get in on the fun with these guitar songs. So we're going to look at how I would use my method to play this and to learn it very quickly. So, as always, what we're going to start with is we're going to run the song through the steps of my magic 5-step formula for learning songs that I call the glide formula. All right, and as you can see, the first letters of each step from the word glide, they form sort of an acronym there. And I called it that because you can glide through learning any song you want to play when you apply these steps. So step one is G, get the chords. In some cases, you can find them for free with song lyrics, and in other cases, you might have to purchase the sheet music from someplace like Hal Leonard or something. But we'll ignore the written notes if there's any, and just look at the guitar chords that are above the staffs. All right. Step two is listen to the song, which is the L, and that's where you can do that just about for free anywhere you want. All kinds of platforms, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, many more. So pick your poison and take a listen to the song either now or after you've seen the full demo here. Step three is going to be identify the feel, and this step is really about finding the core rhythm pattern that will turn those chords into an approximation of the recording. There's 4 essential feels or rhythm patterns that I teach in my piano course, the Piano Man Approach, and then there's an endless number of ways to create variations on them to be, sort of better customize them to individual songs. But I think it's pretty useful to just find the most basic rhythm pattern for a song first and get it under your hands before you try to fancy it up, if you will. Step 4 is the D in glide, which is drill it down, and that's exactly what I just mentioned. Once you have that simple chords and the most basic essential rhythm pattern, you just want to run it through the tune a few times and get the chord progression under your hands, comfortable while you're using that rhythm pattern. Now, for some, this is kind of as far as you're going to go because or it's as far as you're going to go for a while because maybe you don't have the skills and training to do anything more advanced yet. But it will be a credible sounding version of the tune and something to build on as you learn new things. And for other people, this is just going to be a launching pad for other things. So then finally, step 5 is the E, which is enhance with simple improv and signatures, which means to use easy improvisation techniques based on the chords you're already playing and add in more specific and precise signature lines identified with the tune if you know them from either written notation, video tutorials, apps, or maybe you can pick them out by ear in some cases. So, now that you know the process, let's assume that you have already made it through steps 1 and 2 and that you have already found the chords and listened to the tune. And now we're ready to pick out our essential feel rhythm pattern. So quickly, if you had listened to the song, you'd have heard something kind of like this. Right? Some people call me the space cowboy. Yeah. Some call me the gangster love. You know how it goes. So then let's say that you found the chords and we discovered that we're in the key of F major. All right. And so now we got to pick out our essential feels. So what I like to do is I like to just run the chord progression through each of the 4 essential feels that I teach, which I'm going to show you here really quick. There's usually, you can rule one of them out pretty fast, because if the song has 4 beats and a measure, then we're not going to be using the waltz feel. The waltz feel is specifically designed for things with 3 beats in the measure. So we know we're not, in this case, going to be going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, right? So it'd be interesting to try and rework the song as a waltz, but that's not what we're here to do. So we know we're going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of the 3 rhythm patterns that have 4 beats per measure. So there's the basic feel, which is just kind of playing a quarter note drone down here on your left hand, right? And just so we have something interesting to do here with your right hand, although we don't have to live with this forever, but it's a place to start. We just kind of come down on beats 2 and beats 4 with the right hand on a chord. So we're going to take an F major chord here, which is F, A, C in the right hand. Just put it in the root inversion. If you don't know what that means, don't worry, you don't have to know for our purposes today. You just kind of have to follow along. And so we're going to play 1, 2, 3, 4, and in the right hand, we're going to come down on 2 and 4. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? The second chord is a B flat, D, and F. We're going to do the same thing here. And then we're back to F. So let's see how it sounds when we play it like that. Some people call me the space. And then then we go to a C chord, actually. C, E, G, like so. So, some people call me the space cowboy. Yeah. Some call me the gangster love. It's okay, not very exciting. I don't know. It doesn't. The main thing is that you can hear. It's not really approximating what it sounds like when that band is playing. So we're gonna probably throw that one out. Okay. Then we move on. I want to try the country feel. Country feel is when in the left hand you're playing the root note of a chord, which in this case is F, right, on an F chord. And then you're alternating back and forth between the root and the 5 of the chord. So what do we mean by that? If you're playing an F scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So C, we're alternating between F and C. And in between, we're going to play a chord. So think of it like this: 1 and 2. Okay? I'm pretty sure this isn't right for this song either, but let's just see how it sounds. Some people call me the space cowboy. Yeah. Some call me the gangster love. All right, well, if we wanted to make it a hoedown, that would work. But again, not really quite capturing what was on that recording. So now we move to the heartbeat feel, or the syncopated feel, as I sometimes call it. And that's where we create a heartbeat of syncopation, or a bit of syncopation in the left hand that sounds like a beating heart. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1. And up top, what we're going to do is just play quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Okay? Now, for some of you, that's going to come together fast. For some of you, that is going to, the hand independence is going to take practicing a little bit before it snaps into place. But the main thing you need to understand is that if it's giving you any trouble, the hand coordination, just know 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Just keep trying it, because eventually your brain will figure it out. It will start firing the muscles properly, and once you get it, I mean just like one time, you'll never lose it. It'll be like riding a bike, okay? So let's try that at tempo and see how it sounds. Is this closer to the truth? Some people call me the space cowboy. Yeah. Some call me the gangster love. All right. Now we're getting a lot closer to the sweet spot, okay? And just for those of you that don't understand why that one works so well for this song, your left hand in all of these rhythm patterns is essentially acting as the bass guitar and the drum kit. Your right hand is acting as the rest of the band. So your guitars, your piano, organ, strings, trumpets, horns, whatever. Possibly the singer if you're going to play the melody in your right hand. So that's kind of why. And what's happening down here is that once you pick the right combination for your drummer and your bass guitarist, everything else falls into place so easily. And that's how it is with a band too. So you always want to build on that foundation. You never want the worst musician in your group to be the bass player or the drummer, or else you're going to have a lot of trouble. Anyway, so okay, that's a place to start. We can make enhancements to customize it to the song later, but we've got a place to start. So now that we've found our essential feel, right, it is time for us to move on to the next step in the formula, which is the D. Drill it down. So we want to run through the chord changes, and I have copied the lyrics and the chord changes above the lyrics that correspond into the description of this video. So just go down into the video description and you'll see it, and it'll be a place where you can kind of just use that as a guide if you don't have any other way to get your hands on the chords and the words. And we just want to kind of run through it a few times and get this under your fingers. So it's like F, B flat, C, B flat, F, B flat, C, B flat, F, B flat, C, B flat, F, B flat, C, B flat. Then you get to the chorus, and there's no other chords than those, but we play them in a slightly different sequence. So it becomes F, B flat, F, B flat, F, B flat, C, B flat, F, B flat, F, B flat, F, B flat, C. Back to F. Okay, so now what's great is at this point in time, if you're a pretty rudimentary player, meaning you don't have a lot of experience. Now, granted, I understand if you're a total beginner, there's some stuff that you got to know already. You got to know the names of the notes, and you have to take like a real, and I teach this in my crash course. I don't have time to teach it from the beginning in every piano demo video like this, but you got to know your chords. You got to be able to find major and minor chords, even in their most rudimentary form. But once you've got that, now you can work yourself to this step, and you've got now already a fairly credible version of this song, right? I mean, this sounds pretty good, even without any enhancements whatsoever. Some people call me the space cowboy. Yeah. Some call me the gangster love. Some people call me Maurice, 'cause I speak on the pompitous of love. Get to the chorus. Well, I'm a picker, I'm a grinner, I'm a lover, and I'm a sinner. I play my music in the sun. I'm a joker, I'm a smoker, I'm a midnight joker. Sure don't want to hurt no one. Ooh. Ooh. Right? So you've got yourself a decent sounding version of it, even if you're pretty darn novice at the piano. You don't have a lot of skills. You don't need to learn a whole lot of stuff. You certainly don't need to master reading notes on a staff to get that far and have that under your hands. And then it only gets better from there, right? So if you've got more piano experience and you want to learn a few other techniques, we're going to go into a few other things you can do now. But I'm just saying, even at this point, you're starting from a pretty awesome place. And so you just kind of want to work through it a few times at that basic level, get it under your hands. And then, and the reason I say that, as I say, it's tempting, to feel like something really rudimentary like this can feel like it's a long way from what you want your end result to be. But people have a bad tendency to overestimate how long it's going to take and, frankly, what it's going to take to enhance something simple. And they underestimate how much faster the enhancements will come together if they really have the simple foundation, pretty solid. So that's what we want, is we want a solid foundation. So assuming that you've got enough repetition in now that you feel comfortable playing the simple version and you don't get confused moving through the chord sequence, let's take a look at some simple but effective ways to enhance it, okay? There are two main places to look for these enhancements: rhythmic enhancements and harmonic enhancements. Rhythmic is creating exciting or interesting moments with timing and articulation of the chords you play. Harmonic enhancement is actually enhancing the chords that you play by adjusting the voicing or adding notes that make the chords more complex and potentially interesting to the ear. And there's absolutely no rule that says you can't do both of these at the same time, okay? So my favorite simple rhythmic maneuvers are toggles and arpeggios. When I say toggle, what I mean is usually it's just kind of going back and forth between playing part of the chord with the top half of your hand like this, and then toggling with your thumb like that. I tend to do more like toggle down, but you can start with your thumb and toggle up too. There's no rule here. It's kind of whatever floats your boat, So if we're playing along here, some people call me the space cowboy. Some call me the gangster love. Sometimes I do a fast toggle as sort of a little fill, right? But I could also just put kind of a toggle into what I'm doing with my right hand as part of the rhythm pattern, like this. It could be a perpetual toggle. Or it could just be like, come down, quarter note, toggle, quarter note, toggle. Right? I mean, there's no rule, but I tend to be one who will mix it up a little bit more, so I'm more like quarter note, toggle, quarter note, toggle. But that's up to you. But some people call me the space cowboy. Some call me the gangster love. Right? what's an arpeggio? Arpeggio is where you take the notes of the chord, split them up, and play them individually in some kind of a sequence. What am I doing here? Just makes for a nice little fill. Can you do an arpeggio from the top down? Why, yes. Yes, you can. Right? And you don't have to like do one every 5 seconds, and you don't have to do them in some kind of order. It's just like whenever you feel like throwing one in. So once you have toggles and arpeggios both kind of under your hands, and the nice thing about them is you don't have to do anything fancy with your hand. You're already on the chord, right? You're already there. So you make use of where your hand already is. Some people call me the space cowboy. Yeah. Some call me the gangster love. Some people call me Maurice. Speak on the pompitous of love. Okay, just stuff that you can throw in, and you don't have to be doing something special every, constantly. Sometimes you can save it and make it a fill. Sometimes you can work it into the rhythm pattern itself. But I like to use a lot of toggles and arpeggios because they're the two easiest ways to get something interesting and a variation in, and you don't even have to move your hand. You're just right there on the chord that you're already using. Okay? Now, my favorite simple harmonic maneuvers are voicing chords in different inversions and adding a note or notes to create more complex versions of the chord. So, here's what inversions means. This is root inversion. That means my thumb is on the root note of the chord. This is an F major chord. My thumb is on an F. F, A, C, right? But if you're playing these notes, it doesn't really matter where your thumb is, right? You can voice it here, A, C, F. It's still an F major chord. You can voice it here. This is called first inversion. You can voice it here. This is second inversion. C, F, A, right? So by using different inversions of the chord, I am creating something slightly different harmonically that then also works nicely with what I might be doing rhythmically. Some people call me the space cowboy. Yeah. Some call me the gangster love. Some people call me Maurice. I speak on the pompitous of love. See how I kind of worked my way up a little bit, but I did it kind of seamlessly. First I was here, and then instead of voicing the B flat chord here, I decided to just go there, F, B flat, D, right? And then I voiced the C chord here instead of here. And then I voiced the F chord here instead of here. And then there's the B flat chord, and there's the C chord. And I could do an F chord there. See how I can kind of work my way up the piano, and then I could work my way back down the piano kind of subtly and gradually as we go. It adds harmonic effect, makes it interesting. People don't exactly know what you're doing or why it sounds interesting, but it just adds a little bit of depth, voicing the chord in a different inversion. Another thing is there are certain notes that you can add in that make a chord slightly more complex. It could be that you can turn it into a 7 chord, which basically means that you, in your scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, unless there are very rare cases where you're going to use this, it's called the major 7. Usually what you do is flat it, and then you add that to your major triad or your minor triad. And it's a chord with a little bit of spunk, a little bit of attitude. You know, it's got a little rebellion in it. It's not right for every moment, but you can decide to make it a 7 anytime you want if it feels like it might work in that particular setting. So, some people call me the space cowboy. I like the 7 on that C chord. Some call me the gangster love. Some people call me Maurice. I speak on the pompitous of love. And when you throw an extra note into the chord like that, your arpeggio now has more notes to choose from. You don't have to hit every one of them, but instead of a 3-note chord, you've got a potentially 4-note chord, so that gives you more notes to play around with. Toggles work the same, inversions work the same. Another one that I really enjoy is what they call the added 9. And what that really is the 2, okay? And the reason they call it that, it's kind of inside baseball for music theory, but think of it like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? And this is where it gets really stupid. Normally when it says 9, what it implies is that you're also playing 7 and 5 and 3 and whatever. But when you say added 9, all it means is you're going to slip that note in and you don't have to play anything lower than the 9. So kind of an annoying way for them to do it, but see how it's a little bit denser chord? Isn't that a nice sound? And you know, you don't have to overdo it. You can play it, you can replace the 3 with that, or you can play it with the 3. It's entirely up to you, but it's another way that you can enhance a chord. So we go. Some people call me the space cowboy. Some call me the gangster love. So I like, you know, for me, I really like the F to just be an F in this particular song. That's what my ear likes. But I kind of like the B flat added 9. That's B flat 1, 2, 3. So it would be with a C in there. I really like the way that B flat chord sounds with the added 9. Some people call me the space. And then I kind of like the 7 with that C chord. Cowboy, yeah. Some call me the gangster love. And you don't have to do it every single time, but it's just something to think about. So those are some easy harmonic, or, you know, some very simple harmonic ways that you can enhance the chord. So those are some things that I like to do. And then, of course, you can do both at the same time. So there's nothing wrong with, you know, doing a harmonic adjustment. You can make it a more dense chord, or you can, you know, play it in a different inversion, and you can still toggle an arpeggio. There's nothing wrong with toggling like this. It doesn't have to be here or here. Okay, so now the most advanced enhancement is your signature lines. Okay, now some signature lines are a little trickier than others because there's a number of different things that can make a signature line tricky. But basically, what a signature line is, if you don't know, it's some kind of instrumental line that is really, really associated with this song, with whatever song. And it could be any instrument that's doing it. So The reason why signatures can be tricky is one, it can be a really advanced piano or keyboard signature that just might be above your current skill level. Now, I don't ever want you to assume that you can never learn to do something, but understand when something's beyond your reach right now, and it might be worth using some kind of an easier alternative. Because you don't want to drive yourself crazy with this. The whole point is to enjoy it, right? Another reason why signatures can get a little bit sticky and tricky is it might be that it was done on a different instrument that doesn't really translate very well to piano. For example, like a horn or a guitar or something. Instruments that can only play one note at a time, but maybe they, like with a guitar, you might be able to bend the string and create that. You can't do that on piano. It's not designed for that. You can't be a slide trombone, for example. So, and the piano, by its very nature, is kind of an instrument that was designed primarily to play multiple notes at the same time, whereas a lot of solo instruments are really built to play one note at a time. So sometimes the signature doesn't translate really well if you just try to copy it exactly, although sometimes it can too. So that's just a couple of things that sometimes make them tricky. Now, if you do happen to be able to read music, then sometimes signature lines have been transcribed into sheet music, and that might be a good option for you if you've already got that skill. If you can find something through like Hal Leonard, they might have a signature line already written out. A lot of famous signature lines have YouTube tutorials made for them, for example. So maybe that's a good place to go if you want to get a real specific line. So that's another place. And also, you can train your ear to pick these things out. And the nice thing to know about all signature lines is that they almost always fall into the same chord progression that is being played with the song. And so it gives you a lot of alternatives to work with. Even if you can't play it exactly right, you can be in the right ballpark because you're playing the right chords, and you can pick notes inside the chord to do something that's rhythmically similar to that. But we're going to look at a couple of the signature lines in this song and just show you some alternatives that I think translate better to the piano. One thing is, I think maybe the most important one is the, so it's like, some people call me Maurice, right? That's a guitar maneuver, and it's cool. Well, you're not going to be able to do that on piano, but what I always do when I'm playing that song live for an audience is I'll be like, some people call me Maurice, and I'll do a glissando up, and then another one back down, right? Because that's the thing that you can do on piano that you can't do on another instrument, right? So it'll be like, right? And you can kind of pick and choose where you like the sound. You can get real specific if you want and start it on a specific note, go up to a certain note, and then come back down. I never think that much. I'm just going along. Some people call me Maurice, 'cause I speak on the pompitous of love. Another signature that's in that song that you might want to look at is you hear there's a little line from the acoustic guitar kind of regularly going. Some people call me Space Cowboy. Every time we're moving from the B flat back down to the F, and it's like C, D, F, F. You don't have to put it in every time, but it does kind of help make the song sound like the song. Some people call me the Space Cowboy, yeah. Some call me the gangster love. Some people call me Okay? And then one last thing I'm going to throw in here just for fun is when you get to the chorus, they go into this fast picking thing on the acoustic guitar in that recording. And I'm going to show you something that a form of what Billy Joel calls banjo fingers, which is kind of nice if you can keep your left hand going. And this is a little bit advanced, so if it's above your pay grade, don't worry. I just want you to see how it works. And I call it top, bottom, middle, bottom, top, bottom, middle, bottom. So it's and the reason I call it that instead of labeling it by fingers is some people are going to do it with their middle finger, index finger, and thumb. Some are going to do it with their ring finger. Some are going to do it with their pinky. But top, bottom, middle, bottom. All right, see how that works? And it doesn't matter whether you're on this inversion or this inversion. When you get it up to speed, you get this sound. I'm a picker, I'm a grinner, I'm a lover, and I'm a sinner. Play my music in the sun. I'm a jugger, I'm a joker, I'm a midnight toker, getting my lovin' on the run. Woo, woo. The reason why that's nice to do that sort of thing is that when you break it up, if you're doing something like that during the chorus, then you're playing something more sparse during the verses. And here you're essentially using the same rhythm pattern all the way through, but the song sounds like it's got specific sections and they kind of play nice with each other. And that's just something that makes it more interesting. Makes it more interesting to play, makes it more interesting to hear. So you have lots and lots of ways that you can take that really simple version that we started with through step 4 of the formula, and you can enhance it, and there's more and more levels of enhancement that you can get to, and it never ends, right? It's a bottomless pit, but I just wanted to show you a few of them and how you can build a little extra technique here and another little technique here and another little technique here, and the next thing you know, you got a pretty sophisticated sounding arrangement coming out of your piano, and it's full and it's fun and it's exciting, and for you it's fresh every time you play it because you get to make choices in the moment. The idea is to assemble a box of tools that you can reach into rather than like get yourself determined that I'm going to play it exactly this way every single time. No, what this is about is, assembling that toolkit and then having an essence of it that you play every time, but you get to make choices in the moment, and that keeps it fresh and fun for you, and it gives you the chance for the song to evolve over time as your skills evolve over time, and your taste, because sometimes you have the skills to do about anything you want, but what sounds good to you evolves over time, and this gives you the flexibility to kind of play with a lot of different options. So anyway, I hope that that's been at least enlightening. I hope that you've gotten some techniques out of this that are very usable that you can carry forth, not just with this song, but with many other songs. And of course, if you want to learn more about my method in general, it's much faster way to get up and off the ground and playing the songs that you love than any other method I've ever seen. And it's a more authentic version of the songs that you love than I've ever seen someone be able to write out on a piece of paper. So please head over to the pianomanapproach.com to learn more and get some other free goodies. We'd love to have you. We'd love to have you come and check things out over there. And so thanks for tuning in. I'm going to leave it there for this video. Hope this has left you with some valuable stuff. And happy playing, guys. And remember, if you're not having fun when you're making music, you're doing it wrong. All right? I will talk to you on the next video. And remember, we do this every Friday, Free Lesson Fridays. So hope to see you tune in again here. Piano Man Steve signing out. Bye-bye.